Good evening, everyone. My name is Hillary Rodham Clinton, and this is the Graham Norton Show.
Hillary Clinton is here. Whoa. And you know, I mean, Hillary, she doesn't chat to just anybody, does she? No. Oh. Well, you know what I mean. But hey, it's not just Hillary. We've got a packed show for you tonight. Later, we'll be meeting star of Jurassic Park and the new Thor movie, Jeff Goldblum will be here. Yeah. Scottish action hero Gerard Butler will be here. Yeah. Top comedian Whitehall is on the show. Music from jazz singer Gregory Porter. But first, she's one of the most famous names in global politics. She's been a First Lady, a Senator, a Secretary of State, and last year she ran as the first female presidential nominee for a major US party. Here to tell us what happened, please welcome Hillary Rodham Clinton. They really wanted to see you.
Oh, I am so happy to be here, Graham. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your patience and understanding.
It's lovely to have you here. We're delighted to see you. Now,
okay, so...
Literally, what happened?
All right.
More what happened.
Right, another what happened. So I was literally running down flights of stairs in my hotel, and I had a cup of coffee in my hand. Not a smart idea. And my heel caught on the stair, and so I jerked this way with the coffee still in my hand and fell backwards, thankfully not forwards.
Yes.
And I have a fractured toe.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
I can tell you I've had excellent medical care by your English medical system. Thank you all very much.
Well.
And yeah. I have one of these big boots on.
No, it's a very... Can I just say, we don't all get such a nice, clean, space-age boot.
It's really...
Often it's just newspaper and string.
Yes. But it's proven to be a lifesaver because I can walk around.
Do you feel jinxed? I mean, bad things happen to you.
Yeah, well, you know, as I was running down the stairs, somebody yelled, "Give him the boot," but I didn't expect it to do that.
No, because it does seem sometimes like just the world is again you. You know, like so 2008, sad. It was your turn, and then along came Barack Obama.
Well, he did a great job.
Then it was your turn, and Bernie Sanders came along. Then it was your turn, Trump came along. I mean, it is like the universe is working against you.
Well, I just think it shows that some of us are able to overcome obstacles from the universe, and that's part of life, and part of my book is about resilience, because everybody gets knocked down in life. You may not lose a presidential campaign in the United States, but there will be disappointments, there will be losses, and as my late mother just drilled into me, it's not at all about getting knocked down. That's inevitable. It's about getting back up. And so here I am, back up with
Literally.
My foot in a boot.
Now, you're here with your book.
Yes.
What happened? Tell us the story of last year's election. And first of all, can I just say, I was slightly worried I might find it a little dry. You know, a bit...
Drink more wine.
Yeah, a bit fat heavy. I couldn't drink more, Hillary. But you've done it... Well, how hard was that to get the balance right? Because there's enough in there for the political nerds, but then for a general reader like me, it's a really engaging, warm human story.
Oh, Graham, thank you, because I wanted to be both personal and political, because it was a personal and political journey that I was writing about. And I really decided to do it partly to answer that question. You know, I feel like I have so the title doesn't have a question mark on it, but I wanted to know what happened. It was such a surprise. It was so shocking and obviously devastating, and all kinds of consequences from that. So I dove into it, and I came out of it with a really strong sense of catharsis. I write in the book about how I got through those first weeks and months, walks in the woods, playing with my dog, spending time with my friends, yoga, my share of Chardonnay. I mean, it was a combination of tools and experiences that helped me get back on my feet.
But to go from every day, every
Right.
minute of every day being sort of answered for, to suddenly have days, what was that like?
Oh, well, after I gave the concession speech, and really, there were so many of my friends and supporters there, and they were all crying, and so I was comforting them because they were equally distraught. And I got a few phone calls from people during that period. And then finally it was over, and I walked out to the car with my husband, and we got into the back seat. And it was just like somebody pulled the drain. I mean, all of the energy, all of the adrenaline, which I'd been running on for months, because you don't get enough sleep, and it's really a constant marathon. So I just really collapsed. I just thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. And I felt so terrible. I really felt responsible for the loss. But I got home and, put on some, sweatpants and a fleece and kind of just wandered around. And then the next day, my husband and I went for a walk in the woods, and we were, moving along with our dogs. And I turned a corner, and there was a young woman there, and she had her baby in a backpack, and she had her dog. And she saw me, and she just cried out and asked if she could give me a hug, and she did. And so she was so upset. And that's been my experience nearly every day since that I've been in public, is that so many people, predominantly women, but not exclusively, have been just so upset for all kinds of reasons.
Well, it was interesting, that photograph of you with the woman in the woods.
Yeah.
It went viral. I think part of the reason it went viral was because we were so happy to see you smiling.
Oh,
that you
thank
weren't,
you.
caked to mascara, hugging a jug of wine, rocking. And this went viral. But then, apparently, the woods in upstate New York became like looking for Bigfoot. They were all up there.
Yes. We would show up, and there would be people waiting. That's one of the things that Bill and I love to do, or go for these walks. And, occasionally there'd be photographers. So we kept moving from nature reserve to nature reserve, trying to outsmart the crowd.
Here's a family that found all the two of you.
Yes.
And then people weren't satisfied with that. They started to kind of
They started
to put you in things.
Yes,
So
yes.
here is hashtag Hillary in the wild. Literally, the Reese Witherspoon movie.
I hope so.
And then this is very good. This is an actual sighting of Hillary Rodham Bigfoot. There she is in the distance.
Well, laughing is, as you are an expert at, the best cure for nearly everything. If you can get back the energy to laugh and make fun of yourself, and just start having a good time again.
So you do the walking, the yoga, a few trips to the bottle bank.
Yes.
You're probably feeling a bit better.
Right.
But then, I mean, it's sort of Shakespearean.
Right.
You went to the inauguration.
I know.
And that was because you were First Lady, not because you'd been nominee.
Right. And I really tried to get out of going. Because I was going, not as the candidate or the opponent, but as a former First Lady, because the tradition is presidents and former First Ladies all show up, regardless of Republican or Democrat, to show support, continuity of our government. So, we thought, okay, maybe others aren't going. So, we called... We called the Bushes, and the elder Bushes were in the hospital, which I think was legitimate. And so then, we called the younger Bushes, and they said, yeah, we're going. We called the Carters. They said, yeah, we're going. So, Bill and I looked at each other and said, well, we got to go. Oh, my gosh. I try to describe in the book what that felt like, because I didn't know what to expect. What I wanted to have happen was, despite the kind of campaign he ran, I wanted him to rise to the occasion of being our president, and being the president for everybody, not just people who supported him. That didn't happen. And so we were sitting there, and we were listening. I was sitting next to George W. Bush, and Bill was on my other side, and we were listening to this really dark, divisive speech that I describe as a cry from the white nationalist gut. And I was so disappointed, really so sad that it wasn't an outreach. It was a narrowing and a hammering of what he had said before. And it's reported, so I put it in the book, it's reported that George W. Bush, as it ends, says that was some weird
And it was. And the book has been a huge success, so that's all good. But I have to say, not everyone has been that thrilled by the publication of the book. President Trump made a rare foray into the world of Twitter. He tweeted about your book. Crooked Hillary Clinton blames everybody and everything for herself for election. She lost the debates and lost her direction. And you had a very good reply, I felt.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Right.
Because are you tempted to ignore his tweets?
Well, you know, I ignore a lot of them because there are so many. You could not respond to all of them. This one in particular, I said, well, I've also written a children's book that you may find.
I think we've got your tweet here, yeah. Try this one. Did he take you up on your offer?
I don't know. I haven't heard back yet. But I do respond when I think, you know, what he has said is hurtful and unfair and really causing problems for people. And I sometimes, but rarely, tweet at him. So we had this horrible hurricane in Puerto Rico, which is a part of the United States, and 3.5 million people live there, and nothing was happening. So I did tweet at him and at the Defense Department, basically to say, you know, send the Navy and send the hospital ship. And, you know, within a day or two or three, they actually did it. So that's what I do.
But has he set the agenda by... Presumably you didn't tweet that much before. He's brought the world to Twitter to try and explain complex things in just a few words.
Well, he has tweeted for a while, but you're right that he tries to talk about issues that are very complex. He uses it to mostly attack people, insult, criticize people. The most dangerous thing he does is conduct diplomacy on Twitter. So he is trading insults with Kim Jong-un, which is like just catnip for Kim Jong-un. He loves that. The idea that he's in a Twitter insult fest with the President of the United States. So he does things that are truly not only upsetting, but kind of inexplicable. And some of it just goes unanswered, and others I answer, and many people do as well.
Yeah. Let's go back into the campaign, because one of the bits I really enjoyed was talking about the debates. Because normally you prep for a debate because it's going to be to and fro with arguments. But he was playing just a different game.
That's right. Here's what I say in the book, because I think it's really important. If you follow politics and you're interested, watch like a debate or a presentation or a rally with the sound off. And so if you watch with the sound off, you didn't pay attention to what he was saying, because much of it was untrue and really just silly. He was very dominant, very big, filling the stage, gesturing and facial expressions. If you didn't know what he was saying, you would think, wow, boy, he's out there really giving it to her. So you really have to understand both what you're trying to say and accomplish and how to match that. Now, the second debate was the one I really highlight in the book.
Yes,
because
the looming one.
He loomed over me.
There
yes,
he is.
And it was all designed to get into my head.
Did you know he was there?
Yes, of course I did. I mean, I think any woman would know that somebody was looming over her like that. So I knew it, and I was debating in my head, and I kind of share this with the readers. Look, I practice not getting flustered, not getting thrown off, being calm and composed, which I think a president should be, not impulsive and not trying to dominate every encounter. But maybe I should have turned around and said, you're not going to intimidate me like you try to intimidate women. Back off, you creep. You know, maybe I should have said that. And it's a real lesson. It's kind of a, you know, it's a thought lesson for women in public life or the private sector. When you find yourself in these positions where a male coworker, a boss, a client is, you know, really pushing you, trying to dominate you, our usual response is to just hold ourselves together and not respond. Because if you're too hot, they accuse you of being angry. If you're kind of apologetic, like, please don't do that to me, you're accused of being weak. It's really hard to get right in the sweet spot of being strong and effective without creating additional blowback. She was so angry. She was shrill. You know, those are the words meant to keep women in their place. And I'm not putting up with it anymore. I'm going to do everything I can to speak up and speak out about it.
And I think everyone who heard your concession speech, that bit at the end was so moving because, you know, because your story should be an inspiring story to women, but I'm sure a lot of women are going to, God, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah, right,
So what you said to kind of the young girls of America, though, I think was really lovely.
Well, I have this really strong belief that the best way to get sexism out of politics is to get more women into politics and make it clear that women come in all sizes and shapes and hairstyles and voice tenor and everything else. And so we can't just be pigeonholed. But I was particularly concerned about the impact my loss would have on girls and young women. So I basically said, don't let anyone tell you that your voice is not powerful and valuable.
And I think very sweetly, the message has got through because there's kind of a very specific phenomenon happening at your book signings now. And these are the little girls showing up in pantsuits. And there's been a lot of this, hasn't there?
There has been so much of it, and that little girl in particular, whose name I recall as Grace, has on a little fake pearl necklace, and you know, they sometimes come in Wonder Woman costumes as well. But I'm trying to send a very strong message to parents and grandparents and everyone who cares about children that build confidence and the right kind of confidence in both your sons and your daughters. And when it comes to girls, you know, really help build that sense of self-esteem and the idea that she is valuable, that her voice is powerful, that she deserves to be listened to, because it's got to start early if we're going to try to reach the kind of equal rights and treatment that I think we should be aiming for. So that's my mission, and I'm going right at it.
Well, you won't be going that fast, in fairness.
No,
but,
not yet.
we wish you well with the healing. It's been such a privilege to spend time with you. Thank you very much. Hillary Rodham Clinton, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a treat. Hillary Clinton there. And we, in fact, recorded that earlier. And if you'd like to see more of our conversation, the full interview will be available on iPlayer from tomorrow night. All right, let's meet my next guest. He's one of the country's top comics. Always a pleasure to welcome Jack Whitehall, everybody. Hey. Hello. Hi. Lovely to see you. This Scottish action hero starred in Olympus Has Fallen and is back saving the world in Geostorm. It's Gerard Butler. Dinosaurs and even saved the planet from aliens. Now he faces off against Thor himself. Please welcome the great Jeff Goldblum. You're so shiny. Sit, boys, sit. Sit, boys, sit.
Yes, yes.
Good guess. Good guess.
Oh. He's still waiting for my God in heaven. I'm so sorry.
Oh, left you hanging.
Hillary didn't even say hello to me.
I know you missed the Hillary. Sorry about that.
I would love to have seen Hillary.
Well, you can if you watch telly.
I'll watch her. I met her once.
Oh, yes.
I did. When did I? You know, we were at some event, but it's a small, I think maybe a fundraiser, somebody's house, and you know, sure enough, we found ourselves at a, you know, eating at a buffet little thing.
Yes, of course.
And it was just she and I. I said, geez, I'm so happy to meet you. I admire you so much. This is a while ago. You know, she was very nice. That's my story. What a story. Drive safely. That's our show.
Yeah, work on that.
I saved that for this special moment.
But now the weird thing is, poor old Hillary isn't the only accident-prone person this week. Gerard Butler, now what did you fell off your motorbike? You were driven off your motorbike? You were crashed? What happened?
I fell off a motorbike. I do not fall off motorbikes here. No, it was actually about two weeks ago now, but I was in LA and I was on my bike and this woman went from a parked position to basically try and do a U-turn and I went right into her and I didn't really have much time to slow. Yeah, thank you for the.
Yeah, sorry, I was just imagining it.
Yeah.
It's like London has fallen.
Pretty much. It was like London has fallen. Yeah. And I went about, because there was a bunch of people just happened to be there. They were in a staff meeting looking out and people unloading a truck. So apparently I went about 30 feet through the air, did a somersault and smacked down. And I jumped right up because I'm like, remember who you are, you got to keep it together. And the second I jumped, I went, oh. And I knew I'd done something. I actually fractured 5 bones in my right foot and did in both my knees. But I pulled the helmet off and it's like, oh, it's him. and then this guy takes me over and goes, he banged your head. And he sits me down and he's rubbing my head. He goes, okay, what's your name? I went, it's Gerard Butler. And this guy behind him's like, I knew it. I told you. Like, what day is it? I didn't know what day it was before the crash. But anyway, it's been a bit of an inopportune time because I've been filming a bunch and on this press tour, so like going from crutches on to talk shows and. Like,
but you look incredibly well for a man who fell off a motorbike.
I'm an animal. That's right.
Yes, it's an animal.
When did you do that? How long ago did you do that?
It's about 12 days ago.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
And you're broke. You say you're broke.
5 fractures
And your
then
knuckles
2
are all
micro
shredded
fractures,
as well.
torn meniscus,
God.
sprained MCL, is it? And then I've also this got burned right through the bone. Actually, it was pretty hefty. It wasn't.
I split a nail playing squash the other day.
You were in a car crash. Actually. I don't know about you had a car crash as well, huh?
I had a car. Yeah, I did actually have a car crash about 4 or 5 years ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
I
It was
didn't know
awful. It was like a proper near-death experience. But the worst thing was you learn so much about yourself because, I mean, I literally cheated death. And I remember that my DVD was out that week and I thought, if I had died, I would have shifted so many more copies of it.
Oh, dear. Jeff Goldblum, you were here to tell us about the latest Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I lost confidence then. I
know.
I thought I knew how to say it, but Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok,
yeah.
It's out next Tuesday, 24th of October. Yeah. Now, I've seen it. It's great. You haven't. You can probably guess. Jeff isn't Thor, so who are you?
I'm the Grand Master. That's the name of my character. I don't know if you've read the comic books, you know, over the last couple of decades. He's been in the comic books. He was came about shortly after the Big Bang, 4 billion, you know, some years ago, along with his brother, played by Benicio del Toro, in another movie, The Collector. Did you see another movie with Benicio? That's my brother, and you know, I'm immortal. This character, and I have all superpowers that you've ever imagined anybody to have. But now I run this planet called Sakaar. It's a very fun planet, and I just like to play games and pit people against each other for combat and stuff like that.
It sounds like he's making it up, but that is in the movie. That is actually what happens.
Didn't you like that
Yeah,
movie?
no, yeah,
I got
really
a big kick
it.
out of it. And Taika Waititi, the great director, he's all over that. If you know him, he's a comic treasure.
Yeah, because we had Sam Neill on talking about The Hunt for the Wilder People.
He did that, and boy, and What We Do in the Shadows. Did you see that?
Yeah, people love that film.
Improvised funny vampire movie, and the cast, you know, the cast, Sir Anthony Hopkins and Chris Hemsworth, of course, is Thor. Tom Hiddleston is brilliant. You know, he did Hamlet here recently.
Yes, he did.
Did you see it?
Of course not.
He's fantastic. He does impressions. Oh, I saw him do an impression.
Oh, he
with
did.
Robert De Niro.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Oh, it's great. I YouTube you all the time.
What a night.
That night back then?
No, it's fun.
The impression of Robert De Niro to Robert De Niro?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it scandalous or touchy or?
It was an odd thing to do, I felt, personally.
Oh, really?
But if you enjoyed it, that's good. No, it was a very good impression.
I didn't do my Gerard Butler to Gerard Butler.
Not yet.
Not yet. The night is young.
When do you finish that tea? Now,
This is actually wine, and because I knew the other guys are getting water, so I maybe just put the wine in a teacup so no one knows. But I said like a mug. I didn't mean like a teacup and saucer. It's just wine. Look, it's all just wine. Oh, now I've said it.
I was like, that's pretty together of you.
Oh yeah, I should have said herbal tea, and I could have got away with it. 'Cause
Yes.
it is. It's mint tea.
no. But I think that makes it look like you've got a problem if you're drinking white wine out of a teacup. Like, no one must know.
Yeah, but normally when you go on chat shows, the host doesn't drink, and so I forget, and then you come on here and you're like,
Okay. How much do you consume per show of that?
No, very little.
Okay. Yeah.
Very little.
all of those vases were full of white wine.
Yeah.
The beginning of
I've never got through a case. I mean, never. Now, Jeff, we must ask. Well, I know. Are we allowed to say this is weird? Are we allowed to say what age you are going to be at your next birthday?
Oh, yeah. This weekend, I turned 65.
Wow. How annoying is that? How annoying is that?
Look.
It's insane.
Well,
What
did you get from
It's also tight. Sometimes you touch it and it falls apart, but that is...
Because I've touched a lot of 65-year-olds' faces and hands. It's a thing I do. It's kind of weird.
And is there a dreary secret, or is it just genes?
Well, it's no secret. There's nothing happening here. I'm coming and going very quickly. You know, I'll be gone very soon, I'm sure. But you know, I do live you know, I'm disciplined. I do my little workouts, such as it is. I won't bother you with what that is, but I do a couple of things. But I do it daily. I like to get some sleep, and I try to eat the right
Oh my God!
the right
I'm gonna
way.
be
I
dead
don't
in
know.
a year. Listen. What? I don't do any of those things, but.
No.
Oh, you work out.
No, you won't.
You lift heavy
work
things.
out, but my workouts, like actually, when I had the bike crash, I was already wearing neoprene knee pads because I'd screwed my knee working out. When I work out, often it's to train to get big. Like I just put on 30 pounds, and then you lose it, then you put on. So normally it's a pretty staunch workout that doesn't do you many favors. It's not really about longevity.
Yeah,
It's about let's go, baby.
Yeah.
You get big.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I always have that. It's the bouncing around that I find hard. Right, you lot can shut up.
Yeah. But the good thing is, there is good news. If you're looking at Jeff thinking, this is so wrong that he looks like this, but one part of ageing has affected you, the additional grooming that is required.
I like to groom, yeah. You must be already.
Oh, please, all over.
Well, yes, you get. Have you gotten a little? You
No.
know, no, really? Well, you're a young man. But I like to take a tweezer. What do you do? I like to take a tweezer and get the odd hair out of here.
Oh, no, I need a Flymo. It's just...
Well, I don't want to get them. I don't want to shave it. You know, that's an option. I like to get them out at the root, and it's like weeding. It's like the thrill of the delight of weeding, because you get that thing, and you're clean as a whistle. Look at that, and you get them out. It's nice if you can. I got it. So there's that, and then there's nose, the nose issue.
I have had a bit of that.
Have you?
Yeah.
What's may I ask? It's a trivial and mundane and not interesting thing, but may I ask you, because I'm interested in it?
It's like you would imagine I do, which is.
You rip them out by hand.
I rip them out by hand.
Oh,
Is that?
You're too young. You don't have them, do you? You don't
I
have
don't
them.
have pubes yet.
But you don't pluck them out. You have quite an odd technique, I think.
No, I don't pluck them out. Nobody plucks them. You're not serious about that. You don't pull them out.
serious
You
about
actually
that.
pull them
It's
out.
horrible. That's
them out.
not the
What's
right
that?
idea. I mean, I guess
He
it's...
does it when he's on his bike. And then...
It's personal. No, I had for a second, I had somebody had given me, because you can buy one of those... Zzz,
Yeah, I've got one of those.
You do?
Yeah.
And
nose
you
thing.
know those things? Well, it's meant to... It's kind of a rotary
Yeah.
thing, and you go... Zzz, and you go like... I don't trust it. And I'm much, much better with a pair of scissors. I take a nice pair of scissors. Well, not to get too detailed, but here, I take my razor. I take my Gillette number 2. This part right here, I razor that very carefully, because you can get it very close. And then there's something going on here and all around there, and I get a scissor, and there I am, and I know just what to do. And this happens now about once a week, I'd say.
Once a week?
Yes, I guess I'm living. You know, things are happening.
Well, it looks good on you. It looks good on
I
you.
did it recently, so it's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Jeff Goldblum, beautiful man.
Let's talk about Gerard Butler's new film. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all safe. Gerard is back, protecting us from, this time, the weather. Geostorm
pretty
opens
banal.
tonight. And this, I mean, it couldn't be more timely, this film, since the weather is, you know, it's quite inclement at the moment. Ophelia's just been... Who's at the moment? Is it Bob? Brian. Storm Brian, Hurricane
My
Ophelia.
brother's called Brian. He's just a straight pain in the ass.
But it is incredibly timely, this movie.
Well, that was the purpose of the movie. Was that Dean Devlin's daughter one day said to him, "Dad, can't we build a machine that'll stop global warming?" Which gave them this idea of what if you did build something, and of course at the beginning of the movie, it's this kind of montage of a quick-time version of what global warming really brought humanity, and it's kind of a goosebump moment seeing this all happen, because it's not so far away from where we really are. But of course, in the movie, then I play a scientist who builds this space station, a system of satellites that can control the environment, and that's where the fun begins, though, because when that thing malfunctions, you realise if this was to go wrong, then we're all up. You know, basically, we're in a lot of trouble.
But Gerard's there. You're okay. You've got a sexy, action-filled scientist.
I love scientists. I love...
Well, you've played loads of scientists.
I have, here and there.
You should have been playing this role, actually. They're like, you know...
No.
Scientist, but like you do a bit of kicking ass as well.
There's a little bit of kick-ass in there.
A PhD in kicking ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just because you're smart, it doesn't
I'm
mean you're
there
not
now.
cool and virile.
But I want to be an action star. Like that is like, I loved action films when I would love to. Like, I love London Has Fallen, Olympus Has Fallen, and I'd love to do one of them.
You're doing another one.
You're in. We're about to make another one.
It's Angels.
Yeah, but you have to drive at more than 3 miles an hour.
I rate like post-Brexit disaster film. No, it's called The Pound Has Fallen. Me and Gerard. They didn't clap when I rehearsed this in front of the mirror. So it's me and you, and we played like 2 data analysts going around the city trying to reinstill confidence in British industry. One of us is the kind of nerdy, bookish former accountant. That's you. Yep. And then I'm the kind of kick down doors, ask questions later, tough cop.
Yeah.
With a slightly dodgy Scottish accent. That's me. And then you just go around and do
That would be me too.
Good pitch.
That's how films get made.
Yeah.
Either that or 301. Just 300, but I'm there to lighten the mood.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
It's happening.
But now, Jack Whitehall hasn't given up stand-up. You've got a new stand-up special on Netflix. It starts streaming from next Tuesday.
Yeah, I like putting on a show. I like bells and whistles. They say you can't glitter a turd. I prove them wrong. It has a big musical number at the end. I spoke about on this show how I auditioned for... Well, I didn't audition. I was in Frozen and then got cut.
Yes.
And, yeah, it really hurts. Let it go. I won't. So in this show, I put some of those wrongs right, and the end of the show is me trying to recreate a one-man version of Frozen on the stage.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stick around to the end.
And because, you know, you're a very successful stand-up and you're working at a certain level, you think every gig will work, but you still have more difficult gigs. Where was the Charles and Camilla one? Was that at Buckingham Palace?
It was at Kensington Palace, and it was this weird gig that they do once a year for all the staff of Kensington Palace. And I know some other people that have done this show, and they have a magician one year, a musician, a comedian. And I went and I did this show at Kensington Palace, and it was the staff, and then Charles and Camilla in the front row literally sat in thrones. I mean, it was like the closest it could be to being the court jester. And I went on stage, and it was horrendous. I died so... And I was trying to, like... I remember Prince Harry was out in Afghanistan at the time, so I was like, you know, I was like, I just want to say, you know, Prince Harry out in Afghanistan, that's so brave of him, a ginger in that heat. Woo. Yeah, I'm glad you laughed, because on the night, that went down like a dead corgi. It was the worst death I've ever had. And then afterwards, the one little bone that he threw me is I met Charles afterwards, and he just said, "You were a lot better than the Contortionist that we had last year." And then, amazing to think of the year before where Charles and Camilla were sat there in their thrones as a guy climbed through a tennis racket.
Hey, don't diss contortionists.
I don't.
Because your wife, is she a contortionist?
My dear wife is, yes, she was in the Olympics. About my wife? You're excited about my wife?
No, that's the cool.
Yeah, she's a contortionist. Anybody want a lozenge?
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah,
thank you.
She was in the Olympics.
You're not getting one after the contortionist thing.
She was a rhythmic gymnast, and she was in the Olympics in Sydney in 2000 for Canada. There she is. There she is.
Yes.
That's my darling Emily. And then she expanded her training to include Cirque du Soleil, kind of aerial things. And she does, in fact, last year she doubled Emma Stone in La La Land. All that aerial dancing outside the scene in the planetarium, you know, that's her, dancing and twisting. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But can she do a contortionist? If you go on holidays, could you get in a suitcase? That kind of thing.
Well, yeah. She was a magician's assistant.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and so she packed herself away in a box. That's right, she did that. And she's quite bendy. And we met at the gymnasium, and I started a conversation. I saw her doing wonderful things, and I invited her to this gig. I played jazz piano, and there we were. Oh, her name is Emily. I think if you're watching Gregory Porter, I'll bet you know this old standard called Emily. I sang to her, "Emily, Emily, has the murmuring sound of May." And I said, "Hey, Emily, you want to come up and do contortion on our piano?" We had a grand piano. She said, "Yeah." She came up. I said, "What do we play, guys? What do we play?" They said, "Oh, that for Fabulous Baker Boys. Remember when Michelle Pfeiffer does To Make and Whoopee?" But and she got up and she did this amazing routine. That was the 2 days after we met. Wow. We're still very much in love. 6 years. Now we have 2 children, one 2.5 and one 6-month-old.
Wow.
2 boys, yeah.
How long ago was this?
6 years we met.
6 years ago?
Beautiful.
Well, Jeff, excitingly, you are playing the piano for us tonight.
I'm so excited about that. Gregory Porter.
Yes.
Just to accompany the great Gregory Porter. Wow. Has he been on before?
Yes, his voice is I love his voice.
Oh, no, I worship him. He's a fantastic human being and musician.
So if you would like to approach that piano...
I'd like very much.
And Jack, if you could warm up for the Contortionist act. Yeah.
You're like, this is fake fruit. This is wooden fruit.
Yeah, it is. Don't try anything. I quit.
I hope that's on camera.
Right, this double Grammy-winning jazz artist is back with a new album entitled Nat King Cole and Me. Here performing Mona Lisa, it's Gregory Porter! Gregory Porter and Jeff Goldblum! How very special! Great job, Jeff. Well done, you. That's beautiful. Gregory Porter! Have a seat. Sit. Very good.
You made the right decision. That was the collaboration to have, because I know we spoke about me and Hillary Clinton doing Gangnam Style. That was the one. That was the one.
That was really special, and there's a whole album, Nat King Cole and Me, and it is out next Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this album, I noticed. Look, it's proper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a 2 album?
Yeah. This is the first time I'm seeing that, so
really?
there's 2 records in there, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yep, you got the 2. Yeah. No, normally this is fake, but that is real. That is real.
Yeah.
You look like you want it, Jeff.
I can't take the only copy, but I would cherish that. He already gave me backstage a CD.
Yeah, but I'll give you
that.
That's yours.
Well, my gosh, Emily got me a record player. I could play it on the record player.
That's the way I first heard Nat's music. So for me, on the record player is how it should be heard.
No, because I mean it's interesting because everybody loves Nat King Cole's voice, but this is a very personal thing. That when you were a kid, he was really important to you.
Yeah, I have to have a personal connection to the music in order to get into it. So. Yeah, Nat, my mother said I recorded a little song on a tape recorder at about 6 and played it for my mother when she came home from work. She said, "Boy, you sound like Nat King Cole." And I didn't know what that was, what condition that was. And, and so, but I did, I found out it was a singer and then went into her records and put on that music. And that warm, rich sound was coming to me, these beautiful lyrics. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. Smile, though your heart is aching. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. That's lessons to live by, life lessons, fatherly advice. I came to Nat's music in the absence of my father, and so that's what drew me really, really tight into that music. And,
that's a beautiful, beautiful story. And I mean, to my untrained ear, Jeff Goldblum sounded very good. Was he all right?
Yeah, no, he was cool. Jeff has his own style, and that's. Listen, when you look at this hat, I have my own style.
Yes, you do.
That's almost a requirement of jazz, and so that was beautifully played. That was Jeff Goldblum's style, This is my second time meeting Jeff. Can we change subject? This is my second time. We met in the airport, and Jeff is a gregarious guy, He kind of bum rushes me, like boom, and come like gets this close, and it's like, yeah, he was like, Gregory, be good, yes. Oh, the lyrics, the intimacy, the way that you make people feel, the conversations that you're having with your heart, with the emotions, it's extraordinary. I think I want to work with you.
And listen, that is it for tonight. Please say a huge thank you to my guest, Gregory Porter, Goldblum, Jack Whitehall, Gerard Butler, and of course, Hillary Clinton. Thank you, everybody.